and welcome to Friday's Total Soccer Show. I am Daryl Grove, and I'm joined by a man who is almost at the end of pre-season. It's Taylor Rockwell. Hello.
Hello. Yeah, I guess I got my 2-week break in between the tournaments and the start of the regular season. So yeah, I'm getting back to full fitness. I'm getting there.
And just like Arturo Vidal and Cristiano Ronaldo, you went all the way to the end of both tournaments, so you really deserve that break.
I was really curious what that link was going to be. It's like Arturo Vidal and Cristiano Ronaldo, I like a well-styled hair. I don't know what it was going to be. Yes, I went all the way to the end, as did you, my friend.
Oh, yeah.
Are you still in preseason mode, or are you fully match fit, ready to go?
I'd say I'm almost fully match fit, which is why it's the perfect time for us to talk about the Community Shield. Community Shield is this Sunday. It's an 11 a.m. Eastern kickoff on Fox Sports 1. And the teams involved are Leicester City against Manchester United. So on this show... These are true facts. On this show, we're going to offer a little preview of that game, maybe a little history of what that game's all about, because if you're a newish soccer fan, this game makes no sense.
It does not.
Right?
Yeah.
Later on, we'll have some scouting reports for you. So let's start with the Community Shield. Leicester City, Manchester United. Why is it happening and what's it all about, Taylor?
Sure. So I think, and it gets a little confusing because people bill it as like the start of the season, and it's not really. It's
not a Premier League game.
Right.
The headline that it's not a Premier League game. Premier League kickoff is August 13th.
So it is always the week before the Premier League kicks off, and as you said, it's Manchester United and Leicester City. Manchester United having won the FA Cup, Leicester City having won the Premier League last season. So it's the winner of the Premier League plays the winner of the FA Cup from the season past.
And it's kind of telling that when we sat down to talk about previewing this game, you said, and the winner of the FA Cup was Man United, and the winner of the league was, and it really took me a minute to remember that Leicester City won the Premier League. Because Community Shield is so often...
Chelsea?
Yeah.
Or Man City?
A team that you more expect to win the league.
Yep. Yeah, it is. And it's frequently... At least in years past, it's been like one huge club. Sometimes you get like Manchester United versus Chelsea. Sometimes you get weird like Chelsea v Stoke, depending on who, because sometimes you'll have the same team win the league and the FA Cup, in which case it's the runner-up of the FA Cup.
But let's not complicate things.
Yeah, okay, that's fair. That's fair.
Before we get into the game itself, Community Shield, it's kind of for charity, right? The revenue from the game is distributed to charities large and small throughout the UK, so it's not really a big for-profit game. And it's also, the weird thing for me is, I think this is an important thing to know going into it, it's kind of half serious because it's a week before the Premier League season starts, but half friendly. It exists in this very, very, very grey zone.
Yep.
If you want a definition of the colour grey, is the Community Shield game competitive or not?
I think this one will be more competitive than some have been in years past.
Why so?
Because you have Manchester United under Jose Mourinho. He is akin to Hope Solo in that I feel like he always wants to win no matter what. So I could see him putting out a full-strength team, even though he says he's not going to. I could see him really going for this one because he wants to get the first piece of silverware he could possibly get.
Right. It counts as silverware, right?
Yeah,
it's official.
Exactly. And then for Claudio Ranieri, it's the start of their quintuple for Manchester United. Their quadruple for Manchester United, the quintuple for Leicester City. Because Leicester City, Claudio Ranieri has said, wasn't pleased with that final preseason game against Barcelona. He plans to start his full starting 11. And I think maybe he also wants to show that they're continuing to exist, even with the absence of N'Golo Kante, who's moved to Chelsea. So maybe it's an opportunity for him to show that Leicester are still just as good as they were last season.
And the big thing is you get 6 subs in this game instead of the normal 3. And I think Jose Mourinho has basically said, I'm going to use all of them because there are people that still need some match fitness. Why is that? This had me confused because it's a week before the season. Why aren't the Manchester United squad as fit as they should be?
Well, first of all, I feel like that sometimes is a bit of like a misnomer because I do think other sports, particularly in the United States, like baseball and the NBA, it's kind of accepted that players show up to preseason training out of shape. Like, it's just what's going to happen. You have players, like to the point where I think it was Mark Teixeira of the New York Yankees was routinely like, well, we know he won't get into full fitness until about 2 months into the season.
Right.
Like, and so I think soccer doesn't really go that way, but I think it's more about...
You're supposed to be ready to go on day one.
Yes, exactly. And I think it's more about making sure they're well rested, they're free of injuries coming into the start of preseason, and then that they've gotten enough reps in the system. And that's what I would say it's more about for Jose Mourinho.
Haven't they had like games cancelled and stuff during preseason?
Yes, so there was
that's
supposed
what I
to
thought
be...
it was about. Like, people haven't got enough minutes. So that was Mourinho was saying, like, I need to get some guys some minutes.
Yeah, there was supposed to be a Manchester derby in Asia. I think it was in China. And that got rained out, or the weather did not... cooperate. So that game got canceled. I think there was a lot of chaos in the schedule and in sort of PR events that Manchester United had to participate in. So I think Jose Mourinho was overall not pleased with preseason and how kind of disruptive it was, as opposed to maybe unifying it could have been.
All right, so let's get to the game itself,
Sure.
because it is first look at Jose Mourinho's Manchester United. At least it's the most serious game that Jose Mourinho's Man United will have played.
Yep.
And like you said, it's first look at Leicester City in the post-Premier League winning, post-N'Golo Kante selling era.
Yeah.
We're each going to have a very specific prediction for this game. Before we do, can we just talk a little bit about what to expect from these teams? Because if the last time you saw Manchester United was the end of the Premier League season, this is a whole new thing, right? So what are we looking at?
Whole new thing. Well, again, it's kind of up in the air because he's tried a couple different formations, but it seems like maybe Jose Mourinho will go with a 4-3-3, maybe more of like a 4-2-3-1. You can never really say for sure.
So the big question that everyone will have, and I have, where do Wayne Rooney and Zlatan Ibrahimovic fit into this? And do they fit in the same spot, or are they somehow playing together?
Well, I see. It's confusing for me in regards to Wayne Rooney. I'll give you the simple answer first, which is I think Zlatan starts, and I think he starts up top as that lone striker. I think that means Anthony Martial is expected to play left wing on the left side. For Rooney, it's weird because Mourinho came out and said he's not a midfielder, right? But it seems like he is going to be that number 10 and is maybe just going to sit just behind Zlatan.
Okay, so he's not a deep central midfielder, but he is an attacking midfielder.
Exactly,
okay.
right. So that's
where he started, essentially, where he started his career.
Yeah, I think so. I think that's where we'll probably see him in this game. And then it's a question mark about who else we see because we don't really know who's in good standing, who's executed, who's going to come off the bench. We know we won't be seeing Bastian Schweinsteiger. Yep. Yeah, that's the big one.
Well, do we see, for example, Mkhitaryan, the signing from Borussia Dortmund?
Are you trying to lead me to my specific prediction? Because if so, I can give it to you right now.
No, I'm really interested in Mkhitaryan because he's a guy that I like. For me, the start of the new season, not that this is the start of the season, but we're almost there, is seeing the players that have signed for their new team in their new jersey to get used to that being a reality. Because in my head, Mkhitaryan still plays for Borussia Dortmund because I haven't seen him in a Manchester United jersey.
Seems like you've not been watching the Manchester United preseason games?
Not so much, no.
How dare you? Yeah, I mean, he'll probably play. He'll probably be on the right-hand side. So it'll be opposite Anthony Martial. That would be my guess.
It's a scary strike for us. Mkhitaryan, Ibrahimovic, Martial, that's pretty good.
On paper, it sure is. Whether or not it actually is, we'll see what happens.
And how about my favourite young man, Marcus Rashford?
Marcus Rashford
England's
probably,
hope.
I'm going to say probably on the bench.
Okay.
And then is United's second or third or maybe fourth choice striker, depending on how Jose Mourinho wants people to play and where he wants them to play.
Okay. And how about how you see, I know you haven't seen much of them properly, right? But Jose Mourinho's Manchester United matching up against Leicester City and the way they play with that tight 4-4-2 and the pressure that Leicester strikers put on defenders in possession.
I mean, I think that if you want, maybe like from a Jose Mourinho standpoint, a reason why he doesn't want Bastian Schweinsteiger in this team, why he's not interested in including him, it is for games like this, where I think he wants to have a very strong presence in the midfield, as he always wanted to have for Chelsea. That's why you'd have Matic and Fabregas, and they would.
Isn't Schweini a strong presence?
No, that's the problem. Yes, he is in terms of possession, but in terms of being able to put in that defensive work rate, to put in those tackles, to do that sort of physical work, I don't think he fits with what Mourinho wants.
Okay.
He wants a much more athletic, up and down player who can handle that type of responsibility.
Which wasn't what Van Gaal wanted, right? So,
yeah.
Well, is that going to be the difference between Van Gaal United and Mourinho United is physical, ground covered, up and down, as opposed to side to side, slow possession.
That's absolutely it. And my favorite thing about Mourinho is, like, it hasn't been a secret at all this summer about the Pogba controversy, or not even that, just transfer drama. And he keeps saying, like, whenever asked about it, I think his response is usually like, well, we're looking to make a fourth signing and we expect him to be a very good player. And that's basically what he's referring to, is he wants another midfielder who can do that up and down, side to side, the shuttling work, the hard work, the physicality in the midfield to handle that long Premier League season. I think basically he doesn't see Schweinsteiger doing that. He does see Schweinsteiger taking up a lot of money on the books. Pogba will take up a lot of money as well, but can maybe do more in the Jose Mourinho model.
His miles covered will be commensurate with his salary.
Let's hope so.
Let's hope so. So can we talk Pogba for a second?
Sure.
Because I've been half amused and half annoyed as a sort of
correct
innocent, neutral bystander to this Pogba from Juventus to Manchester United transfer. It's been rumoured forever. There were crazy rumours that he's having a medical here, he's having a medical there, medical being like the final checking everything's okay and this player's healthy before the transfer goes through. And then Pogba himself starts posting, here I am at Universal Studios having a medical, on his Instagram, really making jokes about actually, I'm on vacation. Everyone leave me alone. Not having a medical. Don't believe the rumors.
Well, yeah, but he's feeding it a lot because he did the thing where I think he flew from LA. He was in Miami, then I think he went to LA, then he went to New York. And the flight to LA, he just posted a photo of him on a plane and was like, "Where am I going now?" ? Like he's doing a lot to bait.
Maybe he's just doing like a random travel thing where he boards planes and deliberately doesn't look at where they're going.
Yeah, it could be. Well, he did it. The newest one is that he was, I forget where the concert was, but he was at like a Drake concert last night and gave Drake a signed Pogba Juventus jersey. So then all United fans lost their minds and they were like, see, he's not going anywhere.
I saw a video of him playing soccer. I don't understand why he was playing soccer at Chelsea Piers.
Yeah.
You know that like five-a-side facility at Chelsea Piers? I played baseball there, weirdly, not soccer. Right. Wearing a red jersey. And so everyone was like, this is evidence that he's signing for Manchester United. And it's so weirdly colour-coded, it's bizarre.
Well, he posted another one. It was an Instagram one that was a black and white photo, and the only thing that was in colour was anything that was red. So then it was red, black, and white. So then it's a lot of...
It just means he's been watching Schindler's List.
Yes, exactly. I'm sure that's what it was. He was really touched by that one.
Yeah.
He could have saved more. So...
Do you know what I'm talking about? There's the little girl with the...
Oh, I'm familiar.
Okay.
I'm familiar with the works of Steven Spielberg. Thank you very much. It was Spielberg, right?
Yes.
I know that primarily, having not seen that movie in like 15 years, it's because of the Louis C.K. bit about the little girls auditioning for Schindler's List. You should find that bit on YouTube if you can. In the meantime, so yeah, he's doing a very good job of, I think, drawing this out and hyping it up. And it really does almost make me wonder if there was that dinner date he had with Zlatan like a month ago. And I just feel like Zlatan was like, just do what you want, man. Milk this thing for all it's worth. It's fun to manipulate the masses.
I do actually think he's trying to poke fun at the media for these weird, like, erroneous reports that he's having a medical, he's doing this, he's doing that. I'm not sure he realises that he's really annoying Manchester United fans and Juventus fans. So he's like alienating the past and the present.
I will say,
he's burning the bridge while he's on it.
Yes, exactly. But he has the capability to jump off of it, I think. And maybe
long legs.
But I'll say this, though. Speaking very strictly as a Manchester United fan, it is a different situation than in seasons past, where it does seem, famous last words, it does seem like this is a transfer that's going to happen. It seems like at this point it's almost done. Maybe he'll be unveiled before the Community Shield, probably after. But if you go back for the past couple windows since Sir Alex Ferguson retired, there have been a lot of these types of stories. There was the Fabregas story, there was Thiago, there was Sergio Ramos. There's a couple other ones in there where it seemed like these deals were going to happen, and then they fell through at the last moment and other teams came in. And it's the first time for United fans in a while, I think, and I haven't seen much talked about, but that it seems like this huge transfer is going to happen. And it happened with Zlatan as well. And so I think that is also part of it, is why United fans are willing to forgive that, and why I think Jose Mourinho doesn't care is because he wants to get that big player, that impact player, that statement player right away.
All right, I'll come back to you later for your very specific
But we've talked about United a lot.
We certainly have, and there are two teams in this game, and one of them is the Premier League defending champions, Leicester City Football Club.
Who are kind of already being dismissed again. It seems like people are kind of already like, well, everyone else is retooled and strengthened. Like, let's be real here. It's just like, really, have we learned nothing from last season?
Well, I've done some research into what Leicester City have done, especially in the transfer market, what's going on with Leicester City, and I have a sort of a take on them, which is, I think it is unlikely that they repeat and win the Premier League. But I also think it's likely that they have another very strong season, like top 10, top 5 maybe, you know what I mean? Because, yes, they have lost N'Golo Kante, right? Huge miss, defensive midfielder who so many tackles, interceptions. They've replaced him, and they've also sort of preemptively replaced Riyad Mahrez and Jamie Vardy with kind of like-for-like-ish players, and those two haven't left. Mahrez and Vardy are still there. So Leicester, even though they've lost Conte, Leicester City have strengthened their squad for this season.
Can you tell us who the replacement for Conte is and the potential replacements for Vardy and Mahrez?
I certainly can.
Please do.
So the replacement for Conte is eerily similar. Eerily similar. It is a French defensive midfielder called Nampalys Mendy, who was playing for a smaller French team. He's playing for Nice, just as N'Golo Conte was playing for Caen last season. Similar in age, I think. Mendy's
season before last, but yeah.
2014, 2015. Mendy's 24. I think Conte was 24 when he came over. I checked the stats. His tackle and interception stats are not as good as Conte's were in his last season in Ligue 1. But he has been described, and I'm not joking, Nampalys Mendy has been described as the new Claude Makelele.
All right.
And
that'll work.
N'Golo Kante is already the new Glenn Makelele.
So he's the new.
Yeah.
There you go.
So, and then farther forward, Damari Gray was signed last January. He's this really exciting, dynamic young winger. He's English. You would have seen him making a few cameos towards the end of last season. He's really settled in. I saw a bit of him we saw it when we just briefly put on the Barcelona-Leicester friendly.
Yep.
We saw him playing balls through for Jamie Vardy to run onto. He really looks like he's ready to play.
Yeah.
So you're going to see him.
I thought it was Mahrez who played that ball. I know exactly what you're talking about. And we're like, oh, Mahrez is playing. Oh,
Yeah.
that's not Mahrez. Okay.
So the way I look at it, Steve Walsh was the head of recruitment. He's the guy that's gone to Everton, and Everton are very excited to have got Steve Walsh.
Well, they
but
should
he was
be.
already doing work at Leicester this summer. And I think, last winter, Damari Gray in there already as a potential long-term replacement to Mahrez. On top of that, do you remember Kapuchka?
Yep.
The young, exciting Polish winger.
He made that move, yeah.
Leicester City have signed Kapuchka. So now they have all kinds of wingers. They've got Mahrez, they've got Gray, they've got Kapuchka, and they've got Mark Albrighton, who's been there the whole time.
It's been the summer of Polish signings, hasn't it?
It certainly has.
Kovacic has gone to PSG, and Arkadiusz Milik has gone to Napoli. It's big signings. Good stuff, guys.
Blaszczykowski has found himself a new team. I've forgotten. He's somewhere.
I think it's Wolfsburg.
That's it, yes. He's gone to Wolfsburg.
Yep.
And I'm not even finished. Leicester have made a record signing that seems like a potential Jamie Vardy replacement. Because remember, he was going to be on the move to Arsenal. Then he decided not to. So Vardy's still there. And they've got a Vardy replacement in Ahmed Musa, 23-year-old Nigerian, £16 million from CSKA Moscow. He scored twice against Barcelona. Have you seen these goals? The first goal is incredible. It's like pace. Like he picks up the ball at midfield, does that thing where you put the ball like one side of the defender and run around the other side and get it. And then
that's always humiliating.
Ran through and scored. He looks very much like Jamie Vardy when he's on the run.
That's interesting. So they basically are just like, this system works. We're just going to get in like plug-and-play replacements?
Exactly. Yeah.
I like it.
So you've got Ahmed Musa is like a Jamie Vardy like-for-like, but also you got to think they've got to play in the Champions League as well next season. So they're going to need a bigger squad. And the other thing is they're never going to have that season again when Vardy, Mahrez and Kante at the time stayed uninjured for the whole season, more or less. You know what I mean? It's kind of a miracle for players to go through the Premier League season and be almost ever present.
Right. And I think I do say, though, with all of that, with all the signings, which is well-researched, my friend, I still am shocked. Because if you had asked me at the end of last season how many of those three remain, I would have said they'd be really, really lucky to hold on to two, but more likely to barely hold on to one. I did not think they'd even be able to keep two. And the Conte move was for an absurd amount of money that you really kind of can't turn down even with the amount of money that you're getting this season. So that all makes sense to me. But I still think you're going to hear that sort of dismissive approach to Leicester again, and it's going to be sort of a quick like, oh, they've lost some of those star players, and so it remains to be seen how they make up for that, without really acknowledging that they really only lost one star player, and they kind of have made up for it.
And they could lose Riyad Mahrez still. There's still talk of him leaving. But I think what I'm trying to get at here is they have a system that they have in place, which is the strikers hassle the other defenses they're trying to play out. And then if you force them to play long, you intercept, and then you hit them on the counter-attack with these like diagonal balls or quick balls through, and you have fast strikers run onto them, right? And you have wingers that get the ball in the box quickly. Even if they lose those players, Vardy, Mahrez, and Kante, you sign like-for-like replacements. You either have strength in depth, which is what they have now, like I just listed the wingers. If your principal guys leave, you have guys who still fit in that same system. And even though Vardy and Mahrez were the stars, it's kind of Real Salt Lake-ish in that the team is the star. So you could end up with a Leicester system that works no matter what even if there's like a revolving door of personnel.
Well, that's the other key component, right? Is that it's not like Leicester were doing some crazy, complicated system that's impossible to defend against, and teams slowly figured it out as the season went on and they limped to the finish line. I mean, they won handily, right? And I think it's because teams know what they're doing, and either teams expect that they'll be able to handle it because it's relatively simple and they can't, or teams just can't handle it. But it's not a thing that requires like a lot of tinkering, Claudio Ranieri, or it like adjustment, or he's got to change it all up if he loses one or two players. It is sort of, we're going to keep doing what we're doing. Teams can adjust to it or not, but it worked before, so we're just going to keep doing it.
And the final signing they've made, Luis Hernandez, a Spanish centre-back from Sporting Gijón, who is, from what I've seen, a little bit faster than Robert Huth and Wes Morgan. Ooh. So they have an extra defender with a little bit of extra pace, which was arguably the one thing they lacked last year and was a dangerous thing when they played such a high line.
You've made me nervous now. You made me nervous. You made me nervous for this weekend because I was kind of optimistic. Now I'm scared.
Well, now it seems like more of a good game, right? It's not a decimated, and I hesitate to use that word because I know you're offended about it, Leicester against a retooled Manchester United. It's like possibly two good teams. So, shall we get to our specific predictions for the Community Shield? Mm-hmm. What's your Manchester United prediction, Taylor?
So I'm going to say that one of United's debutants, and what I mean by that is one of their summer signings, really just the two, since I doubt Eric Bailly, I think is how you pronounce that one, even though it looks like Bailey. I doubt he'll get on the score sheet, but he might. But I'm going to say that one of their newbies gets on the score sheet, but in a not convincing manner. So that could either be like a tap-in that they haven't really done much to create, but they're there to score, or what I'm thinking about is the Chicharito goal when he was making his debut for Manchester United.
In the Community Shield,
Community Shield, and he kicked the ball into his own face, and then went into the net. That counted as a goal for him. And then even Zlatan Ibrahimovic's first goal for Manchester United, it was in preseason, but it was that like flying volley that looked really impressive, except he didn't hit it cleanly, and it hit the ground and then bounced into the goal. So it's like still an impressive goal, but it's kind of unimpressive. So that's what I'm going to say is one of the newbies scores, but it sort of is like, it won't make Daryl Grove be like, that was impressive. He'll be like, yeah, okay.
I'm a tough man to impress.
Yeah, it's true.
So for Leicester City, I should, full disclosure, say this was actually Taylor's idea. And I said, I'll look into it and see if I agree with it. Yeah. And now I agree with it. Leicester City will win a penalty kick in this game. After watching a bit more of Vardy and a bit more of Ahmed Musa, knowing there's going to be pace running in behind, knowing that Manchester United has, I think Chris Smalling is coming back from some sort of injury. Bailly is how you're pronouncing it, is new. I think there's a lot of mixing and matching.
Fosu Mensah, who could deputise at either central defensive midfield or centre back or outside back, is also injured, coming back from injury. So yeah, it's not really clear who will be starting in defence for Manchester United.
So I think Leicester are going to catch Man United on the break, and someone's going to be brought down. There's going to be a penalty kick. I think Vardy has had that wrist operated on, and is expected to play maybe half the game. He's still recovering from the surgery to fix his wrist.
Yeah, but I could even see that being, like, so say he starts and plays that first half, and they bring in Ahmed Musa.
I think that's exactly what will happen.
Against, maybe Mourinho does make 3 changes at halftime and brings off one of his partially injured defenders, and you've got newbies in there and some injuries. That's when I could see that penalty especially happening.
Does Daley Blind play centre-back under a Jose Mourinho?
I don't know, because he's been one of the names that's kind of consistently linked with a move away from Old Trafford since Jose Mourinho's come in. So we'll see how he factors into the Portuguese manager's plans.
Okay, so that game, once again, is Sunday, 11 a.m. US Eastern Time. It's on Fox Sports 1. We'll have a quick review on Monday's Total Soccer Show when we come back after the weekend. The big game we'll be reviewing, though, is the US Women's National Team against France in the second game of the group stage at the Olympics. That game is Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern on NBC Sports.
Yep.
If you're looking for a preview of that game, go back one episode. Yes? It is, right?
Yep.
Go back one episode for a US v New Zealand review and a US v France preview. So, scouting reports to come and a look back, a little peek behind the curtain and a look back on our first week, first full week of Monday to Friday, 5 days a week Total Soccer Show to come. But first, Taylor, we have a sponsor for today's episode.
Yeah, we do. It is SeatGeek, now the official ticketing partner of Major League Soccer. SeatGeek is working with the league and its teams to introduce a new ticket buying experience that will make it easier for you to buy, sell, share, and access tickets to MLS matches.
And SeatGeek has been a long-term sponsor of this show, right? They've been advertising with us since May, and we are really happy that this has sort of happened on our watch. We didn't make it happen, but it's happened on our watch.
I don't know. I've been campaigning.
SeatGeek MLS partnership, official ticketing partner. Last week, Taylor, I asked you to look ahead. Sorry, on Monday, I asked you to look ahead and let me know which game you wanted to see this weekend, and we looked it up on SeatGeek on the app, and I think you picked LA versus New York.
I did,
right? That's a solid choice.
I mean, it's what you got to go with. I know there are many compelling matches out there that I could have gone with, but I felt like I had to go with like the kind of the heavyweight, the main event title card bout. But I want you to maybe pick the undercard.
Exactly. So it's my chance to choose.
Yes.
If I could go to one game, I would go to Orlando City versus Seattle Sounders.
Yep.
That is this Sunday. It's actually on Fox Sports 1. The reason I would want to go is Jason Kreis, new Orlando coach, won his first game in charge, 3-1. He turned it around against New England Revolution. And Brian Schmetzer tied his first game as Seattle. Well, actually, his first game as Seattle head coach in Major League Soccer. He had a lot of head coaching experience in USL with Seattle. So I opened up SeatGeek. I'm opening it up right now. Search Orlando. I can click Orlando City Soccer Club.
I like that you're actually talking us through this. It's very helpful.
I see. Here we go. Seattle at Orlando. Cheapest ticket is $26.
That is not bad. I don't think. Yeah, that sounds good. I would pay that to see these two teams for sure.
Well, SeatGeek says, cheapest is $25.
Now I would definitely pay it.
SeatGeek says,
that $1 I was holding out for.
Gives this the green light.
Ooh.
Literally gives this the green light because SeatGeek gathers all tickets that are available. It's like a clearinghouse almost. Give you all the available tickets. Lets you know where they are in the stadium, how much they cost, and gives each one a ranking, either green light, yellow light, or red light.
Mm-hmm. I feel like you didn't spell it out, so I couldn't make my Mitch Hedberg reference this time.
Exactly what
I had a feeling.
You know when a joke's funny,
yeah.
and it's funny the second time,
yeah.
and then the third time it's annoying.
If
you keep going, it gets funny again.
I'm a big believer in that school of comedy.
Yeah, but this would have been the middle part where it's not funny.
Are we sure, though?
Yeah, we are.
Should we try it again real fast?
No.
All right, fine. But yeah, I mean, that's definitely a compelling game, and it's definitely one that I would spend $25 to see because you've got interesting storylines on the touchline, and then you've got lots of compelling players on the pitch itself.
Including Kevin Molino, who has 3 goals and 3 assists in his last 3 games for Orlando. Ladero will be playing his second game for Seattle. And Breck Shea did not make Jason Kreis's... Dane Breckenshire.
Oh, there it is. Okay, cool, yeah. I need a full name.
Did not make the starting lineup for Jason Kreis's first Orlando team. Came off the bench at halftime, got himself an assist, I think, to Kevin Molino. Started to turn that game around where they won 3-1. So I want to know, does Breck Shea start this game for Jason Kreis or not?
Interesting. Well, I guess you'll have to travel there in person.
I could watch on TV.
Those
if
are
I
all.
Was going, I would use SeatGeek.
You'll have to make very complicated travel plans to get there, but SeatGeek makes it easy once you're there to get the ticket. So you'll be fine.
So you can download the SeatGeek app onto your phone. Once you do, go to the settings tab, enter TSS, just the 3 letters, TSS for Total Soccer Show, and you will get a $20 rebate on your first ticket purchase. So if that Orlando-Seattle game is $25, it's $5 after the TSS rebate.
There we go. That's a decent price for a game. Yeah.
So thank you to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's episode of the Total Soccer Show.
Indeed. And Daryl Grove, thank you for volunteering to make that trip so that you can see them in person. Well done by you.
I'll be back for Monday.
That's good. We'll be back for Monday, but before we get to Monday, we've got to get to some scouting reports.
Okay.
We've got 3 new ones. We've actually got about 40 new ones, but these are the 3 we've got ready to go today.
Okay, so these are some of the best young players in the world, and we have eyes on these players. The Total Soccer Show Scouting Network, it's our listeners keeping an eye on the best young players in the world. What you got for me today, Taylor?
Up first, we've got Kevin Reinheimer scouting Kelechi Nwankali. That's how I'm going to pronounce that one. Having hedged his bets, Kevin reports that Kelechi Nwankali to Arsenal is a done deal according to multiple sources. He's only 18 but has 7 caps and 3 goals for the U17 Nigerian national team. Grain of salt there. And captained the squad that won. And captained the squad that won the U17 World Cup in 2015. He also has had praise from Arsenal legend Kanu, who guaranteed that Kelechi will be a success at Arsenal. I guess Kevin is an Arsenal fan and had seen a lot of rumors linking Kelechi with a move to Arsenal, which is why he requested Kelechi in the first place.
So the grain of salt Taylor mentioned is that I read a story today on Top Draw Soccer that the Nigeria U17 team has failed the MRI age test at the U17 Africa Cup of Nations. I think it was 9 players from the squad are not U17 essentially. Right. So the Nigerian Federation have been accused of age cheating at that youth tournament.
And I feel like this must be akin to like when people knew how to like make fake gold, so they could make fake gold coins, and all of a sudden there became a test for fake gold, and it was like, wait, what now? You know how to test this now? Like for years and years, I do think teams around the world have gotten away with playing overage players, and just all of a sudden there's a test. Or like a test that's being utilized. It's like, oh, that's not good.
Maybe we have a listener who understands how this works. It's an MRI scan, which I know what that is, right? Yeah. But how does an MRI guarantee an age?
I think it's like a tree where they cut the limb off, and then they look at how many rings there are, and that's how they know.
Well, it is something like that, but I want to know what it is.
It's something like that? I don't think it is.
Well, no, there's an equivalent of ring counting, right? There is.
I know there is. It's just such a weird way to put it.
But it's maybe some cell or some muscle development or something that is only present if you're under 17.
Mitosis, says my freshman biology course.
What if a player is like 17 years and 1 day? The MRI go off for that?
I think so. It's the over 17 klaxon that goes off, and that's how you know. Regardless, so it seems like a fair amount of that Nigerian U17 team were overage. Don't know by how much. And we don't know if Kelechi Nwankali was in there But I guess we'll find out.
It actually doesn't matter, right? Because Arsenal have signed him from what they've seen talent-wise.
Yeah.
So it doesn't matter if he's 17 or... I mean, it matters if he's 45, but it doesn't matter if he's 17.
Yeah, that would be a downs. That would be a bummer.
But if he's 17 or 20, Arsenal want him as a prospect, right?
Yes, I would say so.
Right? Does it matter? If
Yeah,
you're 20,
probably.
is it like, oh, yeah, you've got father to... Yeah, maybe.
Yeah.
Ooh, we'll look into this later.
We shall.
I guess Kevin Reinheimer, please let us know. Is Kelechi involved in that scandal?
Let's move swiftly on to our next scouting report, shall we?
All right, I've got the next one. It's from Gillian Avalon, and she is scouting Jack Storer, the young English striker at Birmingham City.
Yep.
Okay. Jack Storer scored a brace and was involved in everything during Birmingham's final pre-season game against Kidderminster. Oh, Kidderminster Harriers. He failed to score against Roda, but still has a record of 7 goals in 7 pre-season games. Gillian also sent a second update. As a result of this pre-season, Storer was offered, parentheses and signed, a new 2-year deal. Looks like that first sub spot has Jack's name written all over it. So maybe some Jack Storer getting some minutes in the Championship this coming season.
Yes, we shall see. We have a final scouting report from John Adams. Not that John Adams. He frequently lets us know. Scouting Shayon Harrison. Shayon is a young Tottenham product. Shayon has been getting a lot of buzz this summer, and it will be interesting to see what Poch does with him. From the rumblings this is John writing, seen or heard on fan boards, which a large grain of salt required there.
Second grain of salt in the scouting report.
Yep. It sounds as if Harrison may have passed Clinton and G in the depth chart, and the latter could be on the move to make space for the younger Harrison. Either way, another Spurs youngster for Daryl to get excited about for England, unless he ends up playing for Jamaica for some reason. We've also, it's a recurring theme as well, second update from John Adams that Shayon Harrison scored against Inter Milan.
Oh.
That was in Tottenham's 6-1 drubbing of Inter Milan. Maybe putting that Julian Green hat-trick into perspective a bit more.
Yeah.
That's now what? I think Bayern won that game 4-1 or 5-1?
4-1.
Okay. Yeah, so that's 14 goals they've conceded in 3 games, Inter Milan? Not great.
A rough Serie A season for
Seems like it might be. But regardless, at least all you can do for Shayon is score, and that's what he did. So we shall see how that helps him rise up that depth chart.
All right. Tottenham team to keep an eye on, I think, for English youngsters in this upcoming season.
For real. And American youngsters. There's that one in there. There's that CCV in there.
Yeah.
Not DeAndre Edlin. Listeners, Daryl's blank stare at me indicated that he thought I meant DeAndre Edlin. Yeah.
I actually thought you meant Pulisic because we'd done the US national team to Premier League team draft.
Yeah.
And I thought we got confused with reality and and fantasy. And the reason I say that is it's been 5 days of Total Soccer Show. It's the first time outside of a tournament that we've done 5 days a week coverage, Monday to Friday, a show every day. And this is it. This is the final day, and I feel good about it.
So we're taking next week off, right? That's the plan? Is that not how we're doing this? Every other week?
I'm afraid not.
Okay, yeah.
I'm afraid not.
It's been good. It's been nice because it allows us to get, I think, to a wider array of topics without so much of an in-depth approach. Because I think usually if we only have 3 shows, we have to pick topics a little bit more like intelligently and a little more specifically. It has to be like, okay, we're doing this game here, so now we're going to do an hour on this one game. It allows us to break it up a little bit more and cover more topics with a little bit more of like a laid-back approach.
Yeah, and speaking of laid-back, look behind the curtain, there are a lot of conversations Taylor and I have, and it's usually me being kind of panicky about, we've got to talk about this, we've got to talk about this, we've got to talk about this. And by the time, if we actually talked about all the things I wanted to talk about when we were doing like 2 or 3 shows a week, every show would be like 3 hours long.
I think we did it once.
It would be unlistenable.
I think we did it once where I just went along with it, and we ended up with like an hour and 45-minute show.
Yeah.
That was just a lot of different things.
But doing things this way, not only do I get to see you every day, but I also know that if we miss some news on the Tuesday show, we can just pick it up on the Wednesday show.
Yeah.
Right?
I think so.
Yeah. So
hopefully.
It's been good the first week.
Absolutely. I've enjoyed it.
And we'll be back at it on Monday.
I have enjoyed, if you haven't seen, Daryl showed it on Facebook, we were profiled in Richmond Biz Sense, which is like the Richmond business magazine publication. And it has been a weird thing where like your parents, I feel like your parents don't appreciate something until they can like read it from someone else.
Yeah.
Because like a number of my family members like saw that and were like, oh wow, that's crazy. Like I didn't know you guys were doing this. And it's like, I told you that a week ago.
I tell you what, we'll put a link to the article in the show notes. Maybe if some listeners want to read it. But everything that's in that article, I have told my parents. Yeah. But as soon as that article was published, they called me up and were like, "Oh, that's great! You do know this." Like,
to the point where one of my family members, she shall remain nameless, was like, "That's so good," and I was like, "I told you that though. Like you remember?" And she was like, "Oh yeah, right." But, like, it is the written word. I think it does convey the sincerity of the accomplishment a bit more than me just saying it, yeah.
So anyway, first week in the books, it was good. We're excited for more. We'll be back on Monday with our Community Shield review and US Women's National Team versus France review. A reminder one more time that US Women's game is Saturday, 4 o'clock Eastern, NBC Sports. It's a big game, and we think, based on our preview, we almost guarantee it will be exciting.
We almost guarantee. Definitely, maybe.
Taylor Rockwell, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today.
Dale Grove, thank you for taking the time to talk to me today.
Listeners, thank you for listening to our first full week of the Total Soccer Show. We hope you enjoyed it. I know that we did, and we'll be back to talk to you next week.